Coming back at you with Madden 20. Now, here's the deal, guys. I did look that up. My apologies. I cannot get the real College Football 19 module. So, this is the deal, guys. We're at the main screen of Madden 20. Now, as you see, we got Face of the Franchise, Ultimate Team, Franchise Mode. I can't play with Franchise Mode unless someone can work it out, the details, where I can get the teams to look exactly the way they would look if college football came out. So with that being said, guys, as you see in the description of this game, you see College Football Mod 19 playoffs. Now, I have 9 teams that I can work with. The Red Raiders are available, but somehow in a way they're not showing up. So for that being said, we're going to wait and see if these guys have this pretty much fixed out. If they can fix out the kinks. But for right now, guys, this is what we're going to look like. We're going to go to Expedition Mode. And I have it all written down so you guys know exactly what's going to happen. So with a wild card round, the first game that's going to come out, most likely probably tonight, is going to be the Ducks. And the Ducks are going to have home field against Florida State. Now, that is round 1 of the wild card round. Round 2 will be both, how about this, Clemson at home. They will have home field advantage. Versus, how about LSU? LSU Tigers versus Clemson Tigers. Could be an interesting one because one's at 86 overall, the other one's at 85. That's what that's going to look like. For the second bracket for these 9-team games, the second one is going to be this, which is going to look really nice. The U against the Texas Longhorns. That one should be an interesting one. I'm curious about how I'm going to play with both teams. That's going to look really nice. The second one that I always wanted to see, which is going to be Oklahoma. I have Oklahoma on the road, but I'm going to give Oklahoma the home field versus the University of Spoiled Children, also known as USC. So with that being said, guys, that's what it's going to look like. And with that being said, we're going to try to play. I'm going to try to play on pro, using both teams. Now, if it gets a little difficult, I'm going to lower that down so I can play on rookie. And I'm going to play 5-minute quarters so it goes a little bit quicker. We will have the 2-minute warning because we don't have all the college football teams. So with that being said, guys, that's what it's going to look like for the brackets. I had the brackets in front of me. And whoever wins in the first 2 rounds against the Ducks and Florida State and the Tigers versus LSU, those 2 teams will meet in the semis of most likely probably Wednesday or Thursday, probably Thursday night, because I'm going to hop back on my Chiefs franchise tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm going to play this game, and then I'll probably get the LSU and Clemson Tiger game done. Tomorrow, I'm going to hop on and do, most likely I'm probably going to do the U and the Longhorns and the USC Trojans versus the Oklahoma Sooners. So for that, you guys could see those two games. You're going to get a doubleheader tonight, and then you're going to get a doubleheader tomorrow afternoon. And then Wednesday is most likely going to be me going back to franchise mode for the Chiefs so I could try to finish that out. You will not hear any commentating once I get back to the Chiefs. You will hear Charles Davis and Brandon Gaudin and the coach Jonathan Coachman. And then I will come back at you at the end of the season to talk about where your teams finished, who has home field advantage, what it looks like in the wild card round, who's in that wild card round, who's going to be in the divisional matchup, who's going to be in the AFC and the NFC Championship game, and then we're going to talk about Super Bowl, and then we're going to go back and I'm going to do all the weeks so you guys can see what the scores look like around the league for your favorite teams. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoy this. I'm praying that whoever does these little modules actually get this actually realistic, where you could play with every team, because I would like to use Michigan and literally play a franchise with Michigan, because I haven't done that in a long ass time. So with that being said, guys, that's what this is going to look like. Now, another thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to play that Red River rivalry game that I know probably a lot of people want to see. So with that being said, that's going to be probably a weekend thing, and I'm going to do Texas versus Oklahoma. But only difference is I believe Texas, and I'm going to look this up, I believe Texas had home field advantage in Dallas. So we're going to play in Dallas. We're going to play at Dallas Stadium because we can't get the real stadiums for these college football teams. So we're going to play in Dallas, and I believe it was Texas that had the home field last year in this matchup. So with that being said, I'm going to do a little bit of a rivalry look. So I'm going to do Oklahoma versus the Longhorns. I'm also going to do USC versus the Ducks. I'm going to do Clemson versus the ACC, the 2 ACC teams that they have on here so far. With that, I'm going to do the Gators versus LSU so you can see that, because I believe they see each other every year. And then I'm absolutely going to do this rivalry because this rivalry is huge in college football, even knowing it was huge back in the day. I'm going to do this rivalry no matter what the deal is. I'm going to do the U versus those Seminoles, and the Seminoles are going to have home field advantage. Now, we're going to play in most likely Jacksonville in this game. That way, at least Florida State's going to get home field. Let's see what it looks like there. And if it looks good, we're going to try it again and we're going to do another rematch. But that being said, I'm going to do a little bit of rivalries of these teams. Like I said, guys, I only have 9 teams to work with right now. So with that being said, that's what it's going to look like. Now, once I get my hands on Michigan, I'm going to do the rivalry between Sparty, and I'm also going to do the rivalry between Notre Dame, and I'm going to do the rivalry between Ohio State. And I'm going to be on the road against Notre Dame, and I'm going to play that game in Indianapolis once whoever does these modules to look like, so you guys can see that. But for right now, guys, this is what it's going to look like. And as I get this set, FSU is going to be on the road. I have basically a good opportunity here to see what this is going to look like. So with that being said, guys, let's play the first game, which is going to be Oregon versus the Seminoles. And let's see what this looks like. I'm excited to see what it's going to look like here. And hopefully, it looks really nice. Now, with that being said, we can't really use a whole lot of teams. So with that being said, we're going to use Oklahoma's home jerseys because I can't get all the other jerseys. So with that being said, guys, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to play with both teams. I'm going to play with both teams so you guys can see what it looks like. I hope that you saw what it looked like the first time. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm going to try my best to bang this out as much as I could possibly get. So with that being said, guys, excuse me, with Oregon having the home team and Oregon don't having a football NFL team, what we're going to do is we're going to basically try this. So we're going to get it on 6 minutes, and we're going to play to the closest stadium I could possibly think of. So with that being said, you got LA, but we're going to actually put them in Seattle, and we're going to make this a 6:30 game, and we're going to make it kind of interesting. So we're going to play in some little bit of rain. Like I said, it's going to be on pro. The game style is simulation. The event type is expedition. Even teams is off. 5-minute quarters. The acceleration clock will be on. The play clock remaining will be at 20 seconds. The stadium will be at Seahawks. 6:30 is the time. The weather is on rain. So we're going to have Oregon travel to Seattle. Like I said, I'm going to play with both teams so you guys can get a thrill out of this. Let's see what happens in the first game and the wild card. Then we're going to do Clemson versus Oregon versus LSU. With LSU, we're going to actually put them in the Saints Stadium so we can see what that looks like as well. But for right now, guys, hopefully you actually enjoy this game, and it looks really, really kind of interesting to see what it's going to view as I go along. Now, as I said earlier, I would not recommend creating yourself until the module is completely correct. So with that being said, as you see, it is raining. Take a look at this, guys. It looks really, really nice. And we're going to be underway here very, very shortly. And here we go. We're underway for the first wild card game of this playoff format in my mind. So let's see here. Let's see what my man Francois or Francisco can do. I'm not saying his name correctly, and my apologies. I usually can't say these names correct. Some of them are totally screwed up for me. But with that, there guys, there is the man that is going to be running the show under center today.
Goes into effect early. We're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Shotgun formation early. Let's see what Florida State and Oregon has for each other.
It's going to be interesting to see how the
Let's
coaches
throw that
view
ball.
that, right?
And not bad, but what's happened here? Offsides defense, and Jalen Jacklins is offsides, so we're going to accept that play. Ball on the 26.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. Off play action. Francois. Oh, he's going to take a shot right
deep early. And he will come down with it, and Francois, 1 for 1, 48 yards. Matthews, not bad, too shabby.
48 yards. Well, how about a deep ball on the first play from scrimmage, putting that secondary on notice?
Brandon, all I remember when I was a player is
shotgun formation, as you see, 1st and 10, ball on the 26. Going to hand that ball off to Ackerman. Not going to get a whole lot, only about a yard. And let's take a look at that offensive line. That offensive line looks pretty sharp, if this is actually the realistic offensive line. Cam Akers is your starter for the offensive guys.
You get a great product out on the field, and when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
To throw on 2nd down. Francois.
An incomplete pass, not starting so great, and this is your defense for the Oregon Ducks.
Defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. From the gun.
49, we're going to throw that ball, and nearly almost intercepted. Costly play.
Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance.
And the kick is up, but it's not going to be good. And at this point, guys, we're probably going to have to lower the experience down just a little so I can actually play this. So we're going to go back on rookie, and we're going to see what it looks like. I mean, you saw what it looked like on rookie the first time in this gameplay. So with that being said, here comes Oregon's chances at this point, and I forgot to change teams. It is my apologies. Where you're going to take a look here at what this looks like. Now, with this being said, let's see what Justin Hubert can do.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing
2nd and 14. Not a great start, but let's see what this young man can do. He nearly almost won the Heisman last year, I believe. So with that being said, the ball is snapped. Let's see what happens here. He has enough time, but he ain't going to get away with it. Brooks comes in with a sack. Now it's 3rd and 21. He has to throw here.
and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first
turn out to be a good game. Let's see what happens here. Down the field, nearly almost picked off, and both teams starting out very, very poorly so far.
Third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Here comes Grant on the return.
Not a bad punt return in enemy territory. Can Florida State actually make it up from last time?
Offense will be set up well as they take over. First down, Francois. And Matthews has it right side.
Matthews doing really, really well so far in this game.
14 yards there and a Buccaneer first down. Well, starting drive number 2 off on the right foot. Completion for the first down. Drive 1 is that had to be pretty frustrating because they moved the football. They just didn't get any points out.
But warm-up QB, too. Let's bring in the backup. I mean, my goodness, you took him down.
Florida State ball at the 1, and how about this? Florida State could be the one that could be moving on with me using both teams at this point. I don't know. If you're an Oregon Duck fan, I would be watching this. Marcus Mariota is not the man back there anymore. And that ball with Akers. Akers is going to go into the end zone, and he's going to be the first one to score. Touchdown, Florida State.
As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall.
And the kick is right down Broadway. 3 plays, 45 yards, $1.09 is where it lands. Now Oregon can't stall anymore. They gotta get going here in order to do something with it.
Get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fairly short kick, taken at the 14 here. And a nifty return.
Not too shabby return, close to enemy territory. Let's see what Justin Herbert can do this time.
Big time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
One-handed. How about that? Not too shabby.
A quick first down pickup. Good start after going 3 and out on their opening drive. They'll look to throw here on first down.
And not even. Touch pass incomplete. And boy, I gotta tell you, he's not looking too good so far in this game. He needs to get it going. He needs to calm down a little bit to get himself in gear. Screen play, not a bad screen. And that could be a holding. Face mask. Was it on? It's on the defense, and that is going to be a huge chance for this team now to actually get some points on the board.
Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
He'll drop to throw.
Looking Herbert towards the back of the end zone. Is he in? They're saying no, it is the NFL rules. If it was college football, it would be probably a little different. But it is incomplete.
2nd and 10.
And it's picked off, and this is not going so well for Oregon. Boy, oh boy, Oregon has a chance to get something going. It could end up being a very, very bad day for these guys if they don't get something going.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 1st and 10. Francois over the middle, complete. It's Murray. And he's tackled a yard.
And that's the end of quarter number 1. Florida State has it coming in. I believe that they get ball next half.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Off the play fake. Francois. On the left side, it's McDonald. And they'll get him down here at the 23.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
He's going to look deep down the field.
This could be bad. Terry down the sidelines. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Florida State up by 2 scores so far.
7 yards as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. And that time he came out of the slot for that big play downfield for the score.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was what we call scheming a guy open. Put him in the slot, know that he has tremendous speed. What you're doing with your other receivers is likely running shorter routes.
Not a good start. 3 plays, 89 yards, 42 seconds it only took. And with that, the Ducks are now down by 2 scores, letting Florida State get the ball into this mess. And now Florida State could possibly be the team looking ahead for the semis.
This will be fielded at the 6. And a good return.
Once again, not a bad return, but it's not helping their case.
So Detroit will get the football here in just a second as we prognosticate about the upcoming season. Last year, Matt Patricia's first year as head coach, 6-10, and that was on the heels of Jim Caldwell's final 2 seasons at 9-7. So is there a turnaround for year 2 of Matt Patricia?
They're certainly hoping so. Maybe the system takes root. You know, maybe they protect
midfield,
Matthew Stafford,
he threw an interception on his
but you can see how they tried to get better
series.
through the draft. Remember, T.J. Hawkinson was their number 1 pick, the tight end out of Iowa, and they're expecting big things from him. And then on the other side, free agency. They got Trey Flowers, the pass-rushing defensive end from the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. So trying to put it all together and trying to chase down the Chicago Bears in the NFC North.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle.
And he connects, and Justin Herbert so far not doing too shabby.
10-yard line. It's a gain of 35 for an offense that has not found the end zone yet. That's a big play.
Johnson third so far, doing a pretty good series so far. Let's see if they can actually get into the end zone here.
Into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line.
There's enough time. Can he walk right in? He will. And he will make it up after 2 horrible series. He's in the end zone, but can they stop Florida State before half?
Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? But I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
The point after through the raindrops.
3 plays, 65 yards, a $114. Not bad so far. Let's see what happens this time around.
Good. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was finished off with a 10-yard touchdown scamper. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff
And the Ducks defense stalled Florida State before half.
This is taken near the 13. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. As Tampa Bay's offense trots out here, Charles, let's look ahead to this season. You know, you and I have talked before about Marcus Mariota and this being a big year for him in Tennessee with his draft mate, Jameis Winston. This is kind of a big year for him under center.
You're exactly right. Both of them in their 5th year.
His Oregon's defense getting killed right now by this young man. This young man, 7 for 9, 200,
and He's had quarterback
9 yards, I believe they said.
Tampa, but now Bruce Arians, the head coach, that may be the ultimate quarterback guru, and also his offensive coordinator is a former quarterback in the NFL. So if it doesn't happen this year for him, I don't know when it does, but the early returns seem promising. He looked pretty good in the early going.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And the 2-minute warning is up. Can Oregon stall these guys out and at least try to get close enough to get something going themselves?
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis in his first half of action.
And nearly almost picked off. 3rd and 8. Can they get off the field this time?
Incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Back to throw. Francois.
And they will, however, get off the field, but that is going to lead to a 55-yard field goal attempt, and I don't think either one of them had the leg to do it.
The screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second, it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
Not even close. Oregon holding on to it, not bad. Can they tie it before half? They have enough time. Ball in the 45, they will get it.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Completing it to the right side.
Johnson the third will come up with it.
Down as he's inside the 40. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down. So here's a 1st and 10.
They definitely have enough time. They don't really need to do a whole lot of damage with themselves. Gonna look towards the sidelines, and he will come down with it.
A really nice gain of 25
And boy, he's making it up now.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start.
Mitchell's first reception, not too shabby.
Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's a pickup of 5, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6.
We're going to call a timeout with 18 seconds left to go. Can Oregon get into the end zone?
18 seconds to go in the 1st half. They'll set up to throw. That's complete. Right around
touchdown, Oregon. Tie ball game. It's going to be 13 seconds left to go after stalling twice. Herbert in the end zone once from a rush. Now pass. 2 touchdowns on both ends.
Let's go and punch one in the end zone and go into the halftime feeling a heck of a lot better about ourselves. Let's go get this done.
Yeah, tie things up, and then you get a brand new ball game. The extra point splits the uprights.
13 seconds, 5 plays, 55 yards, a minute and 33 seconds. What can FSU do? Can they get down the field and at least get a field goal together?
5 plays there on that drive. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be taken about the 12.
9 seconds to go. Ball in the 37. All this young man needs to do is just get down the field, get close enough to kick a field goal. That's all that he needs to do with this.
And you know the play caller's just
here comes the blitz, and that's not going to help. Florida State's going to take a timeout with 5 seconds left. Now, Oregon's defense has waked up big time. As you see, we're just going to take a knee to go into the locker room, tie ball game at half.
And we will likely not see another play
and
here.
Oregon's
Take
getting
the knee
now.
and
Take a
head into the
timeout.
intermission all tied. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. All that remains is to snap this once.
And once again, with 2 seconds left, it's kind of ridiculous to even try anything
with fourth down
at
coming
this
up,
point.
they go ahead and
4th and 21.
we'll see what happens.
With 2 seconds left.
A final shot before break. Francois.
And set down goes.
For the pressure, maybe that was for the best.
And boy, I gotta say, the first 2 quarters, I thought it was going to be boring. I definitely did not think Oregon was actually going to bring anything to this pace, but they came back in a hurry to tie this game up.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. But they are all even to this point. So to see if either side can pull away, let's get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the start of the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for...
And Oregon's going to get the ball first half. It could be a low-scoring affair.
Number 3.
Both defenses looking pretty sharp so far.
Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half.
For the second half of this game.
And he'll get it up just
and we're
past
going
the
to start
20, and his guys will go to work
ball
at
on the 21-yard line.
The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their
We're going to
offenses
hand that
are
ball
doing.
off.
And adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a
yards for
spot
Brooks
and maybe
James,
slow
not
down
bad
the
at
other
all.
side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Here's a quick hitch
wide open, and how about this? Now in enemy territory. Justin Herbert right now.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
On play action, they'll throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Over the middle, the catch made by Mitchell. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 25-yard line.
Sharp right now at this point.
This quarterback now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. Back to throw here. James
is going to find the hole, and I knew that was going to total.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Eluding the pressure right. inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
2nd and 2.
And nearly almost picked off again. And that would have been costly.
Near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket.
Gonna worry if he has to take a field goal here. Gonna look tough. Maybe.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot.
Fourth and
it's
one,
not a very generous
not
one.
gonna
He looks to be
happen.
about a yard or so
Field
short.
goal it is.
A minimal gain
Let's see
there on the
what
8th play
happens
of the
here.
drive.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary.
And Oregon will finally get a lead after being down by 2 scores in the first quarter.
We just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. So it's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
So let's see what happens here. Total yards, not bad for either one of them. The rushing, Florida State, not even close. Passing yards for the trend is looking sharp though.
Akers.
Gonna hand that ball off to Akers.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
7 yard.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
2nd and 3. Got his man complete over the middle.
That's across the 6 for a first down.
Get up to the
Now, how about this?
43-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. Throwing on first down. Francois over the middle, complete. That's Terry. And taking it across midfield.
Oregon's defense, but somehow Oregon's still down.
And this should be the final
Florida
play before the
State still
quarter
down
ends.
by just 3 points going into the end of the third quarter here. Akers going to get the ball. Akers is going to run, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. Take a look at the score by quarter.
Washington. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. First down, Francois.
And go towards the end zone. Touchdown, Florida State. Now Oregon is going to be down by 4.
In for the score. And the Bucks are going to retake the lead. Quarterback loves the receivers, but sometimes his best friend is that tight end.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, isn't it? Because we always talk about the guys out wide and how acrobatic they are. But that tight end, great sight lines, easier throws, they become a big...
5 plays, 71 yards, a $138. Not bad for Florida State. What team is going on to face Clemson or LSU?
The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucks. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken near the 13. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34.
First and 10.
So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown.
Herbert has a chance here. He's not going to get that off, and that is going to be a sack. And that is going to be huge for the State.
For a loss of 10.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage,
still enough time. They gotta do something. Let's see what happens here.
Second down after the
We're
sack.
gonna
To be
throw.
done.
We're gonna look.
Johnson's got it
And
complete.
it's gonna be caught.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah,
and Johnson the third looking sharp so far.
I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
Trying to lay one up deep.
And incomplete.
Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
You don't really have a choice.
This defense is continuing to
got to go for it here in order to try to get something going. Has to do something here, and that is the only possible way that they can do anything.
And go up at that moment of truth
that
and make
red
a play
marker is where they got to get it to. Can they survive and get a score here?
They're going for it to keep the drive alive.
And he's going to be sacked, and they're going to be in trouble. All the time in the world, and boy, oh boy, this is not looking so good after all.
Well,
this is not going to come out to be good.
Hoping to keep the football score and erase that deficit, but boy, deep in their own territory like that.
Let's just say that with that call, me and the head coach,
Oregon's defense only holds Florida State
he wanted to be aggressive there, as you pointed out. So I guarantee he told his defensive
game. Can they hold them to that? Let's see what they can do. They're not going to take Ackerman down quite easily.
Just make sure they're ready to go out there and bail
us out. If the touchdown gets it, it's basically over. They got to stop it here.
By 4 on the scoreboard. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeout.
Ball on the 32. Still enough time for something to happen.
Now is the time to start using those timeouts.
Throw that, and it's going to be incomplete. Coming up 3rd and 6.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Florida State has a chance, and they're going to get that chance. How about that?
Back around the 28.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack.
Kick is up, and the kick is off the upright. That could possibly cost Florida State right there.
That'll be off the crossbar and out and short. He couldn't get it there. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off.
They could majorly cost Florida State the opportunity to hang on to this.
They're pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really
well, nearly almost picked off, completely accurate, and it was not even going to happen. Florida State still coming out swinging.
Someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's going to let it go deep from Mitchell.
One-handed catch. Mitchell is going to come down with it.
One-handed. Wow. Give him 32 yards as we inch our way to the 2-minute warning. So they'll come up
2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. 21-17 is your score. Very good game. I can't believe how well I did with both teams.
So the Lions in
as you heard me burp, that is an excuse me moment. Sorry about that, folks.
1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive.
One-handed again, and Mitchell comes down with it again.
That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Ready, break. Watch the right. Watch the right. Sit up. Snap.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
And towards the end zone, and touchdown, Oregon will be taking the lead again.
Touchdown, as his guys have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes.
Wow, I know it's a never say never situation, But to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of the lane because
65 yards and 1 minute and 1 second it took for them to get down the field. And how about this? Justin Herbert, since he started off poorly, being down by 2 scores. Florida State has enough time still.
And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6.
And look at this, could possibly be taking it back to the house. Florida State is going to be going up by 4 points again.
Into the end zone. What a return, and they've taken the lead.
And wow, is the excitement continuing.
They had just lost the lead. That deficit sure didn't take long to erase. They return the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown.
Love the thunderbolt that just came out of that one. That puts them in the end zone and back in the lead.
And this game is not over with yet. Which team wants it more is going to be beyond me.
Your only question, your defense just gave up a score that put you behind. Well, that score you just added on the board will energize them? Or do they have to go back out there and they're a tired unit? We'll soon see.
Brooke James back there to receive the kick. And Brooke James going to get himself closer, and this time Justin Herbert doesn't have a lot of time to get stuff done.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking
Mitchell,
for.
5 receptions for 108 yards, no touchdowns so far.
Down on the scoreboard.
Could that change,
though? 1:11 to go. They need a touchdown. A field goal is worthless now as they come up on 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
There's all the time in the world this time. Let's see what happens. Not a whole lot of times. He landed awkwardly, and that's a face mask. And put some more yardage on that.
When you're
ball
leading in
on
the
the
4th
36
quarter, that's
this
not
time.
the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Back to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Mitchell. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Well, I guess at the very least, they got the tackle from keeping him out of the end zone.
Yeah, you're looking for that silver lining, aren't you? But guess what? Everything changes now after that big play. They've got a chance to strike.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal.
And that's not going to do it. And that's going to possibly end the game right there. Only way Oregon can possibly make this a comeback is if.
Well, I don't think we'll have to look very hard to find out play of the game. That was an absolutely monstrous big play right there. Backs to the wall. The offense has it in the red zone, driving for the winning score, and he says, not on my watch. And that is one happy bunch on the sidelines.
To throw from his end zone, Francois. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun.
He's now in trouble. He's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be a safety. 3 points. That's all it's going to take for Oregon to win this game. That's all they need is 3
and you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few
win.
years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One, to get yourself in position for the second one. Whether you're able to get into field goal range, or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary. But you're trying to get the first one to a receiver, get out of bounds, and give yourself a chance to set things up for an easier shot at it.
We'll see if they can do it. Might be easier said than done. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete.
Oregon
so their
loses this game by only a score.
That, the ball game
and that is going to move Florida State on to the next round.
Type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're
and
exactly
who
right.
is Florida State going to face versus Clemson?
Still,
and
you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly.
LSU.
Even though we both knew it was a long shot.
Take a look at score by quarter there. Almost, very almost. But unfortunately, Florida State is going to move on to the semifinals
so that's a wrap for Charles Davis.
to face one of the 2 Tigers. Could be an interesting one. I can see this one being a very interesting one.
Check us out at easports.com. With that, we say good night from Seattle.
And as we see, guys, we're going to go into the player stats. We're going to look at both quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, not bad at all. Not bad. Not too bad. Those interceptions killed him, though. 19 for 30, 298 yards, 2 touchies, plus 2 interceptions killed this young man. DeAndre Francois, or however you say his name, 13 for 17, 260 yards, plus 2 touches. Not bad for either one. If you take a look at rushing, Justin Herbert, 2 attempts, 2 carries for 18 yards, plus a touchy. CJ Vanderdell, -4 yards. Tony Brooks James, an attempt for 16 yards. Receiving, Dylan Mitchell had 6 receptions for $140. Johnny Johnson III, 5 receptions for 95 yards. CJ Vanderdell, 4 receptions for 21. Kenny Dillon, 2 receptions for 7 plus a touchy. Johnny Johnson III had a touchy as well. Jalen Red had a reception for 20 yards. Tony Brooks James had 4 reception for 14. Defense goes like this. And leading the way was this, my man, Apaloo, however you say his name, something probably Samoan, had a sack. Troy Dye leading the way is also, as you see, this man also had a sack as well. Not too shabby, but on kick return, Tony Brooks James was busy for returns this time. 4 returns for a little over 100 yards. And as you see, the Seminoles rushing, not bad. Cam Akers, 6 receptions for 28 yards plus a touchy. Francois went down for an attempt, so he got sacked. Receiving wasn't bad either. Cameron McDonald, 4 receptions for 54 yards plus a touchy. Timron Terry had 3 receptions for almost nearly $125, but he had $120 plus a touchy. DJ Matthews, 2 receptions for 62 yards. Naquan Murray, 2 receptions for 16 yards. Jonathan Vickers had 1 reception for no yards. Cam Akers had a reception for 6. On defense, leading the way was this guy right here, Asante Samuels Jr., which is Asante's son, leading the way in tackles. He had no interceptions. And Levante Taylor had an INT. Leading the way in sacks was Brian Burns. Another person that had one, it was Devontae Jackson, had a sack himself. And also, Declan Brooks had a sack as well. I do not know who had that other sack. Stanford Samuels III, it looks like he had the other interception to get this team the win. And kick return, Anthony Grant was busy with 4 kick returns at a little over $150 plus a touchy. And Anthony Grant also got a punt return for 28 yards. Not bad for the first wild card game. And like I said, I picked Oregon to have home field advantage on there. On my little tourney bracket, I had Florida State has it, but I decided to give Oregon the benefit of the doubt. But unfortunately, Oregon didn't get it done. Lost by 3 points. Not bad at all. It would have been nice to see them move on. Florida State is going to be the team that's going to move on to the semifinals. So for that, guys, I will see you at the doubleheader very, very soon. And in that game, I'm going to think of a way to do that so you guys can see this. I will probably put this in a playlist so you guys can go back and check this out. For all that being said, I will see you at the doubleheader, and that will be in a few short minutes. I will see you all there, and I hope you enjoyed this game. Give this a big thumbs up. Comment if you like how you see it. Let me know what y'all think. If I find out any more information about this, I will let you know. But I will see you at the LSU and Clemson game very, very soon. Tigers versus Tigers will probably be the caption just to see what it looks like. Not quite sure, but we're going to find that out. I will see you then.